That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. The blind leading the blind, children teaching each other about fucking sex. This guy's condoning 9-year-olds fucking diddling each other behind the trees in the schoolyard. I saw this comment the other day. Somebody was like, it was the weirdest, most asinine thing. It's, you know, the debate online all about fucking groomers and grooming and protecting the children and shit. And sex ed. Like, what age do you think is a good age to start sex ed for kids?
I don't know, 9. 9, I think, is when it starts.
Like, I think
Anything
so.
before that is like, hey.
Get to them before puberty.
Just before, yeah.
Yeah.
Just before, yeah.
Totally.
100%.
Because, like, you gotta fucking prepare them for puberty.
Yeah.
It's a shit show out there.
Yeah.
And I remember what a shit show it was. So... and I saw this one comment. This is probably the all-time number one worst take I've ever heard in my life. This guy was like, sex ed shouldn't ever happen. We should leave it up to the kids amongst themselves on the playground. And I was like, that is the dumbest thing I have ever heard in my life. The blind leading the blind, children teaching each other about fucking sex. This guy's condoning 9-year-olds fucking diddling each other behind the trees in the schoolyard. But like...
Oh my God. I just realized that's what that is.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, oh my God.
So bizarre, that take. But,
Jesus Christ.
fucking ridiculous. But it made me think of, this is perfect proof that children should not be educating each other. Is, I think the first time I ever heard about cum, I must have been 7 or 8 years old, and my buddy Kieran, one of my oldest friends, came up to me, and he had gathered a little group. So you could tell he was going from kid to kid and doing this trick, and then being like, oh, this is fun. Like, go do Al. And so, like, Kieran ran up to me with, like, 3 or 4 others in tow, and they're all like, and Kieran goes, hey, Al, do you cum? And the way he asked, it's one of those things where, as a kid, I didn't know what cum was yet.
Right.
But the way he asked, you know, you register it as, like, oh, this is a bad, ridiculous thing. Mm-hmm. I should say no. You know, you just take the cue. And so I was like, no. And then they all went, oh, you don't come. And I you know, and then they ran away to get the next person. And I was left so confused about cum. And I was like, what the fuck is cum? They're going around to kids on the playground. Do you cum? And the next kid that they did read the cue differently from me. And so I was the one who said no, and they laughed at me. And so they ran up to another kid, and they were like, hey, Jordan, do you cum? And Jordan was like, yeah. And they're like, Jordan comes. So it was like, no matter how you answered, they were going to laugh at you. Right. So kids, my point is, kids teaching kids is just going to traumatize kids.
But adults teaching kids traumatizes kids too.
Yeah, fuck
so kids are going to be traumatized either way. So who really gives a shit?
Exactly. You know what? In the end, who is better? Who is going to traumatize you the least?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Oh, man. Do you cum? So I think about that sometimes. Wouldn't it be fun if in the middle of making love with somebody, just going, do you cum?
Huh?
What? Instead of like, are you gonna? That's so funny. Replacing, are you gonna come? Do you come? Do you come? Do you come? Yeah, I do sometimes.
Is it possible?
Yeah, sometimes I do.
In a hypothetical world.
Yeah. Can you stop saying that, please? It's gonna stop me from being able to tonight. Oh man.